Have you ever watched the person you love become a complete stranger right before your eyes? The screen of her phone cast a pale, sickly glow on her face at 2 a.m. in our Chicago brownstone, and in that light, I saw the face of a monster. Her thumb moved lazily across the glass, a faint, cruel smile playing on her lips as she typed. She thought I was asleep. She thought I was the same trusting fool I'd been for the last 10 years. But sleep hadn't come for me in weeks. Not since the little inconsistencies started piling up like bricks in my gut. I held my breath, the silence in the room roaring in my ears. Every tap of her finger on the screen a hammer blow to the life I thought we had. She was texting him, and I knew this conversation was the final nail in the coffin of my marriage. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from, what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. It started subtly. Late nights at the office that smelled more like expensive cologne than stale coffee. Vague receipts from restaurants on the north side, places we never went. When I'd ask, Amelia's answers were always just a little too smooth, coated in a layer of condescending sweetness. "Oh, honey, it was just a client dinner. You worry too much." She'd pat my cheek, her touch suddenly feeling alien, became colder, more manipulative. My concerns were framed as insecurities, my questions as accusations. The woman I married, the one who'd held my hand through my father's funeral, was now looking at me with the flat, dismissive eyes of a bored stranger. The villains, her and this phantom man, felt untouchable, wrapped in a bubble of their own arrogance. The breaking point came on a rainy Tuesday. I found a credit card statement for a room at the Langham, a luxury hotel overlooking the Chicago River. A charge for two for a night I was supposedly on a business trip in Dallas. The air left my lungs. I sat there in my home office, the gray light of the storm outside matching the cold dread washing over me. It wasn't just a suspicion anymore. It was a fact, printed in cold, hard ink. I felt a humiliation so profound, it was physical, a sickness that started in my stomach and spread to every limb. I wanted to scream, to shatter the photos of our smiling faces that lined the hallway. But a different feeling, something colder and sharper, began to crystallize in the wreckage of my heart. Rage. Not the hot, explosive kind, but a slow, quiet, methodical fury. She had underestimated me, they both had. From that moment on, I became a ghost in my own home. I was no longer a husband. I was a strategist. I started gathering proof with a chilling detachment. I installed a keylogger on her laptop, a device she'd never notice. The transcripts were sickening. Pet names, the promises, the way they mocked me. "He's so predictable," she wrote to him. "I'll never figure it out." The affair partner was a man named Mark, a smarmy real estate developer she'd met at a conference. His messages were smug, filled with a casual cruelty that made my blood run cold. I downloaded every conversation, every photo they exchanged, saving them to an encrypted drive. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop, who followed them to their sordid meets, documenting every kiss, every shared glance, with the cold precision of a sniper. The trap was set. Amelia's family was old money, and her father was a senior partner at a prestigious law firm downtown. Their reputation was everything. I waited until her father's annual charity gala, a massive event held at the Art Institute of Chicago. Everyone who was anyone would be there. 2 days before the event, I filed for divorce, citing infidelity. My lawyer, a shark I'd hired weeks prior, served her the papers at her office. The PI's photos showed her stumbling out of the Langham with Mark, her face a mask of shock and fury. The legal machine was in motion, but the social destruction was yet to come. The night of the gala was a masterpiece of quiet revenge. Amelia arrived, forcing a smile, pretending nothing was wrong. She didn't know that I had already spoken to Mark's ex-wife, a woman he had cheated on and discarded just a year prior. She was more than willing to help. As Amelia mingled, laughing with her father's colleagues, Mark's ex-wife approached her. She didn't raise her voice, she simply held out her phone. On the screen was the entire secret text thread between Amelia and Mark, a conversation Amelia thought was their private world. I watched from across the grand hall as the color drained from Amelia's face. She started crying, not tears of remorse, but tears of a narcissist who had been caught. Her carefully constructed world was imploding. Whispers erupted around her like wildfire. Her father, a man who valued his name above all else, stared at her with an expression of pure ice. She was ruined, completely. Her father's firm dropped her as a client. Her social circle, built on a foundation of lies and appearances, evaporated overnight. The divorce was brutal. The mountain of evidence I had, she got nothing. Mark, the coward, disappeared the moment the scandal broke, leaving her to face the fallout alone. I sold the brownstone on Astor Street, the place that had become a monument to her betrayal. I never saw her again. Sometimes late at night I'll walk by the river, the city lights of Chicago glittering on the dark water, and I'll think of her. Not with anger, not anymore. Just a hollow, empty space where a decade of my life used to be. The quiet is the loudest sound I've ever heard. The end.